I'm gonna need a shot to review this one, guys. Let's review Fables. Shit. Fables, Legends in Exile. And for those who are new here and may not understand or may not get it yet, how I always review the comic is I go through the comic. I don't review my dub, but I do get behind the scenes on the dub as I go through the comic. So yeah, now let's get into this. First, I want to say this is just the longest thing I've ever had to complete. This was a crazy thing to complete, guys. Like this, it wasn't easy. I didn't think we might get here, man, because I was so close to dropping this and just leaving this to the wayside so many times. But anyway, subject kind of for another day, but you'll see as I go through each issue why that was the case or why this was so stressful. How I got into Fables is with the game first, The Wolf Among Us, and I really love this game, and I didn't even know if it was a comic or not. So when I found out it was a comic, I was like, oh my god, I gotta read this now, because I like that idea of fairy tales and fables becoming, adult, and that more of that adult aspect, because you always get it as a kid and you wanted to know, like, I wonder how it would be if they was like adults, how they would interact, like not like this childlike type of atmosphere, but there's more adult atmosphere, and as you can see, it's more real. Shit is way fucking different in this. I guess I could go over a little bit of the game and this, even though I know it's supposed to be the comic thing. The game does take that murder story and they put it into the game. It's a little different, of course. I won't go over all of that because I'm supposed to be going to the comic, but just want to let people know that it is different. One more thing I want to say about the game and the comic is that Snow White's character to me is completely different. For the majority, at least. Like, they both stick to the rules, but they do it in different ways. For the game, it's more of this nicer version of Snow White. She's a stickler for the rules, but she's more of this nice type, like, come on guys, you gotta follow the rules, this, that, and the other, come on Bigby, this, that. This one is more of the bitchy one. The comic of Snow White is that bitch type of boss that makes you just follow the rules and just is always on your ass and on your case. That one's just nags you. This one's just more bitchy, like, you're gonna follow the rules or something's gonna happen to you, that type. And also gonna say I just never liked Snow White's character from the game, or this one just never did, because the game one, she was just annoying. This one, I will say I like her more than the game one, but she still is just such a bitch that I couldn't stand her. And anyway, this story, it comes in with Jack, who just speeds into Bigsby's office saying there's a murder, this, that, and the other. Then it goes to Snow White, who she's talking her case with Beauty and Lord Beast, and that's how you already get the sense that this is a different Snow White. This is like a bitchier Snow White, and a lot different from just even the Fable one. Like, the Fable one's supposed to be all nice and shit. Like, no, this one's just a complete bitch, like I said. Just keeping it honest. She just, or at least that's how it comes off to me, in my opinion. She's just way more bitchy. Prince Charming as well comes in this issue, and I like Prince Charming, I really did, but man, we had like 3 Prince fucking Charmings as well. Another behind the scenes thing, like there was 3 fucking Prince Charmings in this. Yeah, but anyway, I enjoyed his character, I really liked it. The thing is, man, like, I kind of feel for Prince Charming a little bit, because I mean, I can only feel for him so much. It's a battle. It's a struggle. He's not the only struggled character that I'm conflicted on. It's like, I want to like him, but it is kind of fucked up that you fucked Snow White's sister in your bed. I mean, I know Rose seduced you, but come on, dude. You can't be just fucking people's fucking, especially your wife's sister. Prince Charming is one of those scoundrel type of people, always looking for them scam artists. Trying to scam his way into things. It's usually women, which is what you see when he first appears. That's why Molly gets kind of scammed into it, and he just takes what he can from her until she finally gets tired of him. But he already knew it was coming. Like, he would just know his type of scumbag type of character, but I like it. Bigby Wolf is the one who is, of course, in charge of this case, and he's taking on this case when Jack came in and, of course, told him that Rose Red has been murdered. Eventually, at the end of issue 1, he arrests Jack, and then we get into issue 2. And for Bixby character, it's a pretty popular character. I have no problem with Bigby Wolf. He's cool to me. I like him a lot. I don't know if he's my favorite. Oh, I don't know who the fuck's my favorite Fable, but I mean, he's up there. But yeah, great character for Bixby Wolf. We had like 3 of them. It's another 3 people who've been recast. Start of issue 2 is where we kind of get some of the past history. That's why you see one of the little pigs there, and you can see that Bigby has changed. Of course, he was the big bad wolf, and people still bring up the past like centuries earlier, but people still bring that shit up, and that's gonna happen throughout. Like, your past never really leaves you for Fables, so he still has that stigma, even though he's really now a good guy, but people still hold those past deeds against him. Bluebeard appears in this issue as well as Cinderella, and Cinderella is definitely not that goody girl type in this. She's completely different as well. She's really actually very skilled, and that's shown way later in the series. That's why I kind of went with a not as princessy voice for her, because she's not really that character. She's not that anymore. She's very capable, and she's not that I'm looking to be rescued type like her. She's done a complete 180. Bigby questions Jack, who leads him to Bluebeard because of his past history, and Bluebeard's able to put them at ease, or pretty much clear his name, when he says that he wanted Rose Red's hand in marriage, so he wouldn't murder her before that. And he's now trying to figure out what has happened to Rose Red, because he as well is confused on how she got murdered. And of course, Bluebeard was played by Mac Wright, who did him, which I thought he did a great job for Bluebeard. And that leads us into issue 3. Issue 3 is pretty much Bigby just going around questioning people, but this is told in Snow White's perspective and told to King Cole, who's played by the same person who plays Bluebeard. Also, Bluebeard goes after Jack because he thinks he might know something, because of course Rose Red and Jack had their relationship, so he thought that he might know something and he's hiding something. And so that pretty much ended this issue. That's all there was for this issue 3. Issue 4, we go into the Remembrance Day Celebration. The Remembrance Day Celebration is about remembering, of course, where they came from, which was the homelands or where they were kicked out of from the adversary. And it shows some unity amongst their community. This is told by the leader and mayor of Fabletown, King Cole. Bigby finds some clue talking to Snow, which is going to help him reveal the case, and he's been very cryptic. He hasn't told anybody anything. He's been saying this is his investigation. He's been kind of bossing Snow around, which that doesn't really happen a lot, but he's able to kind of boss her around a little bit. Not as much, honestly, because Snow White's still talking. She's still talking her shit. But yeah, he's eventually able to get them all to meet together, and he reveals that Rose Red is still alive. Long story short, issue 5, they just wrap it up. They say why Rose Red did it. And I understand why she did it. It was just, she can't trust Jack, man. Jack is, she should have known better than to trust Jack. Jack is one of the most cheap people, always trying to get some money. He's like Prince Charming, just Prince Charming does it better. And he's smarter with it. Jack is just, he's just Jack. That's what you can say. He's just Jack. He just does Jack things. And I really like Rose Red. Like, oh my God, next issue, Rose Red. She said some crazy shit, man. She made me almost feel bad for Snow White, who is probably my least favorite character in all of this. But she made me feel bad for her, because I'm like, come on, man. You'll see in the next issue. The shit she says is just, it's so fucked up. Makes you feel bad for Snow White, but she needed it after this arc. Because Snow White, she's always bitchy like this. Like I said, that's her character in this one. So anyway, that pretty much wraps it up, and you can see how it ended in there, or read it, watch the dub, and you see how it plays out. Also, I want to say that the game's ending is different in the comics. In the game, they pulled the trigger. In the comic, they didn't. And I kind of like the game's ending a little more. Not that this ending is bad, because they still do something with that character. But for the game, it's just a little better in my opinion, their ending. I just like it if you're able to pull the trigger and able to capitalize on it. And I think their ending was really good. Not that this one is bad, and I'm not holding that against it. And it's kind of messed up what Snow White did to Bigby. Like, you can't just turn him down like this, man. You can't turn him down like that. Like, that's just wrong. It's just so fucking wrong. She just did it with no mercy too, but that's okay. That's okay. It's gonna happen either way, Snow. Gonna happen either way, whether you want it or not. But yeah, spoiler alert, I guess. That pretty much ends this comic. I will say Legend in Exile, it does give you a flow of how it's going to be. Like, you're going to figure out that people's past are going to come back to haunt them. They never really get over it. It always occurs and people always bring it up. It's never something that just goes away, which I'm glad that they set that up in this Legends of Exile. I'm going to give this comic an 8.5 out of 10. I think the ending, like I said, could have been better, but still a very good beginning to Fables. They set the tone and everything. So yeah, that's it, and we're on to Animal Farm, and I really hope that the cast does not go astray. Because I mean, we had to recast 80% of these roles and it took like 2 years. I'm hoping this doesn't happen for Animal Farm. I'm gonna do my best for that to not happen again, and hopefully it does not take 2 years, because man, it was stressful. I don't know how we did it, but anyway, that's it, guys. Seed about 8.5 out of 10. I'll see you guys on the next one. I need another drink.